All right, guys, just sat down at my desk, and before I started the bullshit in my head about sounding too good or sounding perfect or trying to sound a certain way or trying to get my thoughts collected, I just said, fuck it, we're diving in. So that's the intro to episode number 7. So I'm going to run over the rules again. I can't tell a soul about, I'm going to change soul real quick, bro. Tell a soul, I'm like 50 years old, single person. All right. Rule number 1, can't tell a single soul about the first 100 episodes or mention the podcast to anybody for any reason. Under no circumstances will I promote or share the show at all. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2 is I must record solo. Yeah, I guess if I recorded with somebody, that would contradict number 1. So, nice. And then rule number 3 is each episode must be a minimum of 20 minutes long. And that's just so that I am kind of forced to get out of my comfort zone a little bit and continue talking about something longer than 37 seconds. Rule number 4, there must be a valuable lesson or takeaway from each episode. So it's not me just sitting here spewing and talking about random shit. You're going to walk away with a new, perceived value or something you learned or some whatever. Maybe you thought I was funny. I don't know. And then rule number 5, commitment to 5 podcasts uploaded per week on Spotify alone. We'll figure out the other platforms soon enough. I keep saying that, but still haven't looked into it. And then rule number 6, there's no edits or cuts or anything unless I got to take a fat shit. And I haven't had to do that yet. So those are the rules of the podcast. And I just want to reiterate, and I think I'm going to say this every time, but the reason why I'm doing this podcast is because I want to get better at not only pushing myself past my comfort zone, but also to try and familiarize myself with the whole podcasting thing and just get better at articulating my thoughts and putting them in audible form and getting them out there. Because I'm not a very extroverty person or a loud, talky person. I usually keep to myself, and all my thoughts just kind of hang out in my head all day. So I never really talk to anybody, and I feel like I have a unique perspective on the world, and especially because I haven't done much in life to, I guess, gain that perspective. I mean, I've been through my own trials and tribulations, but I don't know, I just got a different spin on things. I think I think that I think things through a lot differently than the average person, and that kind of led me to think and believe that starting this up would be a good idea. So we'll see if I'm right or wrong, but either way, it beats sitting on my ass doing absolutely nothing, making no progress towards anything in life. So here we are. So today, I wanted to go into a little bit of a story time kind of thing about my journey with FedEx. Because the whole job, you're in that truck all day long, all alone, just yourself, nobody's with you. Unless you have a jumper, which is rare from the there's a fucking fly in here, dude. Jeez, it's gonna ruin the show, dude. Dude, if that fly goes and the mic picks it up, holy shit. Okay, anyway. Fuck was I saying, dude? Oh, so you're in that truck all day, all alone, by yourself, and it's just you, yourself, and your thoughts the whole day. And I did that shit full time for 2 years. Now I just do it part time, and I actually love it now that I'm doing it part time. I look forward to working the weekend and getting some extra dollars and doing something that I actually find joy in. Not that I would want to do it full time and make it my career by any means. I've already done that, but I no longer want to anymore. So, but with all the time that I spent alone in that truck, I started thinking of things a little bit differently and tried to find the good in everything, because I would be having some of the shittiest fucking days known to man. And so I really had to dig deep and find the positives in every day. And not gonna lie, I struggled with that for a long time. I couldn't find any positive whatsoever. But there's a few key points that I want to share with you guys that really are just so comparable to life as a whole, and honestly helped me and changed my perspective while on the job. So a little background, actually, before I dive into those. How I even got started at FedEx was I was living in St. George, and to anybody who's listening who doesn't know where or what that is, it's in southern Utah. It's in the desert, I guess. It's all red rocky. It's beautiful. It's where Zion's National Park is. It's really close to Bryce Canyon. It's on the border of Utah and Arizona. It's pretty close to Vegas, and it's just beautiful. It's very warm there. It's amazing. And so I moved down there because I wanted to move to Arizona, and that didn't work out at first. And the whole reason why I wanted to move in the first place was because I was so sick of the cold fucking weather, dude. And I look outside this morning, and there's snow on the mountain, so that's awesome. But I wanted to escape the cold weather, so I wanted to move to Arizona. And for many reasons, I wanted to move there. That's a whole other episode. But that didn't work out, so the middle point from where I'm living now, which is in northern Utah, to Arizona would be St. George in the middle. So I was like, fuck it, we'll go there. It's warm. Not as warm as Phoenix or anywhere in Arizona, but we'll go there. And so I went there. I was a produce manager at Smith's Food and Drug, which, again, depending on where you're listening, that would be a Fry's or a King Soopers or a Ralph's or anything Kroger. So I moved down there, started working that. Everything was fine, and I was like, you know what? I live in such a beautiful place, and it's so warm all the time. I want to work outdoors. I want to work outside. And so I literally went to Indeed.com, and I typed in outdoor jobs near me. Or I think I typed in Zion's National Park jobs, because it'd be sick to work at a national park. But, yeah, so I typed that in, found a lot of different results. I think there was car washes and stuff like that. And then it came to... It says Blackland Transport FedEx delivery driver. And in case you don't know, FedEx Ground is all contracted work. So that means if you work for FedEx Ground, you don't work for FedEx, the company. You work for a contractor, and that contractor services FedEx. So each contractor can pay how they want, run the rules how they want, run their routes how they want, do whatever they want with their trucks, etc. And so I saw Blackland Transport. I didn't really understand what that meant, but I saw FedEx delivery driver, so I thought, fuck yeah, here we go. So I applied. Fast forward a little bit, 2-3 weeks later, I'm not sure. I'm working FedEx, dude. Got hired, and I'm driving in Kayenta Hills, I think is what it's called. Kayenta? I'm not sure. With my buddy Dave. Dave is the guy who trained me. Taught me a lot of what I know with FedEx. Dave, if you're listening, I love you, brother. And so the rest is pretty much history. I started working FedEx full-time. I quit Smith's. Got FedEx going 5 days a week. And then I would be doing that for the next 2 years, which led me up to now. And in the course of all that, I went from St. George to Phoenix, Arizona. Stayed with one contractor that entire time there. It was awesome. Shout out to Tim and Joel. You guys fucking rock. And then I decided it was time to move again. I actually wanted to move back home to Utah, but kind of wanted to check out Colorado, so I moved to Colorado. And what the hell is going on with my computer here? So I moved to Colorado, and I moved there because of many reasons, but I got hooked up with a contractor there for FedEx, and everything seemed great. They paid out the ass. Everything was awesome, but it turns out I was getting shit routes. I was getting not as many stops as they were going to give me, which is how you make money, and a whole lot of other shit that was just awful. It was very unprofessional of them, and I wouldn't recommend anybody go and work for these guys. I'm not going to even shout them out. It's not worth it, but anyway. And then that didn't work out, so switched contractors, meaning I quit one and got hired with another, and that was awesome. I was doing up to 374 stops per day, every single day. I was making good money for a single man, living on his own, and I didn't really do much else other than work. I just worked, came home, and was loner ass. But that's, again, a whole other episode. So while I was out there in Arizona, St. George, Colorado, I had great days for sure, but then I had those shitty days, and like I said earlier, you had to dig deep to find those good ones, find the reasons to keep going, the silver lining, I guess. And I just want to touch on a few of them. I'm not sure how many we'll get through. I'm sure we'll finish the whole thing. What the hell is going on here, dude? Why is this doing this? Sorry, dude. If you had a MacBook, you know what I'm talking about. It says I'm using Google Chrome on my phone. I don't have Google Chrome on my phone. That's annoying as shit, dude. Roll with the punches. We're going to keep going. It's all good. So, anyway, one of the things that I compared to life so much was, so there's this quote, and I'm not sure who it's by, or even if it's even a quote, but there's a saying, and it goes like this. It goes, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And so, obviously what that means is, you're going to be presented with this huge thing in life, whatever that might be, and you might want to tackle it all in one go, but it's literally impossible sometimes to take care of whatever it is you're going through all in one go or one push or whatever. So how do you eat an elephant? You eat it one bite at a time, just one step at a time. It's pretty much what it's saying. And so comparable to FedEx, how do you deliver a whole FedEx truck full of packages? One stop at a time. And you might get lucky and have the biggest fucking order for Chewy on earth, and it all goes in one spot. But for the sake of this analogy, nah. Okay? Like I said earlier, I had 374 stops one day. That's my most ever. And I was able to deliver, I think, 326 of those in a timely manner. And my truck stalled that same day, so somebody had to come and take some stops off me. So, and that's really contradictory to what I'm about to talk about in a sec. So, eat my balls, I don't care. Point still stands. So yeah, man, I was, one stop at a time. I would be having those shitty days where I'd be driving along. I would be feeling like I'm kicking ass. I look in the back of my truck and I'm like, God damn, dude, my whole truck is still full. Have I even made a dent? And just the way the FedEx trucks are loaded, I was just looking at one shelf only, and the shelf had a little bit of room. I made a little bit of a dent, but I got 22 feet full of packages, and I got to get them delivered by a certain time. Some of them I have to go pick up at other times at different places, not even close to where I'm at, stuff like that. And so it's really stressful. So getting 20 stops done, puts a little bit of a dent in there, depending on how many stops you have. Typically it'd be like 180 up to 250 I went on a streak of, I think, 28 days in a row where I had no less than 223 stops per day, up to 374. That was in that streak as well. I had a couple of days above 300 outside of that for that last one. There's a lot of stops, dude. It's a lot of work. Imagine doing anything like that 300 times in a row. Like boom, boom, boom. It gets really tiring. It's really laborious work. Laborious tiger work. So, dude, I hope you guys don't take me that serious when I start spouting off some bullshit, because I'm a goofy guy, and I truly don't give a fuck. I'm having a good time. So, yeah, it's hard work, and so I'll be going through the motions. Some days I just haul ass. I fly through, don't even think about it, and before I know it, my truck's empty, and I'm like, okay, guess we're done. Let's go home. Other days I feel like I've been going hard all day, and I look in the back of my truck, and it's like I haven't even started, and that's just such a shitty feeling. And so, comparable to life, whatever you're going through, you got to look at it one package at a time, one house at a time, one stop at a time. You can't look at the whole picture and expect to tackle that whole picture in one go. And I would always think about that while I was driving. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to focus on this next house. I'm going to park as close to the front door as I can. I'm going to get the package ready so that when I park, all I got to do is run back there. I grab it. I know exactly where it's at. Run out the door, put it on the porch, drop kick it, stop, take a photo, run back to the truck, on to the next one. And as long as I can do that one stop perfectly, to the best of my ability, the fastest, most efficient way possible, that's all I can do, right? That's the most all the effort that I can put into that stop. There's nothing else I can do to make the stop better. Get the package to the front door, get the fuck out of there, on to the next. And that's the name of the game. It's speed. We're Lightning McQueen's out here. Speed, I am speed. And so, again, that's just the name of the game. You go in there, you deliver the package, come back to the truck, and you do that repetitively all day long. And so the better and the more efficiently you can do that, the better and more smoother your day is going to be. And if you're having a hard time getting that package to the door for whatever reason, you can't find it, or it's too heavy, or you can't scan it, your scanner's not working, scanner's not on, shit like that. You just got to make sure the small things are working, so that when it comes time to execute and perform the task that you need, you're able to get that done and taken care of, and then on to the next one. Because, like I said, if you're if you're hauling ass all day, there's probably a good chance you're very organized. You're very aware of where you're going. You're not distracted with your phone or with other shit going on. You're just driving on the road. You're doing your thing. You know exactly where you're going because you got the GPS in front of you. Everything's laid out. There's no reason why you shouldn't haul ass. You know, and even you're going the extra mile. You're running to the door. I do that. And before you know it, your truck's done. Truck's empty. But if you're having a shit day, probably a good chance you're not organized. You're not taking the time to put. There's little stickers on the boxes that shows you what the number is so you can match it. It's much easier than finding the address if you don't know. If you don't take the time to do that, if you don't take the time to move shit around, so move the stuff that you're not going to deliver first towards the back of the truck, or move the stuff that you are going to deliver first towards the front, etc. I mean, it's fairly organized for the most part. But if you don't take those tiny steps to organize and get your shit sorted before you embark on the journey, which is the day of deliveries for FedEx, you're not going to have a very good day. And especially if it's your first time, kind of a separate thing here, but if it's your first time on a certain road or a certain route, area, or neighborhood, regardless of how prepared you are, you still might have a shit day just because you're unfamiliar with the area, and that's a whole other thing. But, you know, there's so many things you can do to prepare, and there's so many things that if you don't, you're going to have a shit day. And so, again, that just ran through my head all the time. I was, man, we just got to focus on this next stop the best of my ability. I know I have that 150-pound lawnmower in the back, but we're not at that one yet. We're going to focus on this envelope, and we're going to just fucking knock it out. And that's what I did, dude. And that helped me a lot, actually. I would be focusing on, I would see 8 tires in the back of my truck, and I'm like, God damn, dude. This motherfucker ordered 8 tires, and he don't even own a car. You know, just some shit like that in my head. Because, dude, okay, real talk. I delivered a snowblower in Phoenix. It hasn't snowed there in 25 years. And the snowblower was very heavy. And so, what the fuck, bro? Don't order a snowblower in the dead of summer in Phoenix, Arizona. It's fucking weird. Just, why would you? Anyway. So, that type of shit would be lingering in the back of my head, you know? I see that in the back of the truck, and I think, God damn, dude, I want to just get that out of here. Can we just, you know? And because that was my focus, it was like every time I walked in the back to grab a package, I would just see those tires or whatever it was. And I'm like, God damn, dude. And so I wasn't even focusing on the next stop necessarily. I was focusing on that one that I wasn't going to get to for, you know, 5 hours, 6 hours, 80, 90, 120 stops later, whatever it was. And so how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. How do you deliver a whole FedEx truck? One stop at a time. And so you can go through life just focusing on the next move and the next move, a.k.a. the next day, this day, or if you focus on the day, today, and then tomorrow you focus on that day, and the next day you focus on that day, then you'll be surprised where you end up when you're, you know, like for example, just did 75 hard. I wasn't focused on the 75 days total. I was just focused on doing the best I could today. And it feels really good being able to say that because I've always heard that shit of like, just focus on today. But I never grasped the whole concept of what that even meant. I was like, okay, win today. I can win today. That's fine. But I got to win 100 more days, dude. It doesn't end there, you know? And so that kind of tripped me out. It was a weird thought to think that if I just win today, I'll be fine. But that you just got to do that every day. And such is life, you know? So like if, for example, I've been on 75 hard for, I think, 81 days. And then I took about a 10-day break. So that's 91. And then I'm on phase 1 of Live Hard, day 4. And so we'll just say 95 days. That's 95 stops, you know, equivalent to FedEx. And if I would have looked at day 1 of all of this and said, man, 95 days to get to that point, fuck that shit, then I probably wouldn't be here and I probably would have given up like a little pussy. But because I didn't, and I just focused on one day at a time and just committed to the first day and the second day and that so on, I'm here recording episode 7 of a podcast I know nothing about and I really don't have any qualifications that make this some sort of podcast where you can come here to learn about sales or business or whatever. You know, I haven't done much, and maybe that's a whole other episode as well, a little bit more about me, a little bit more in depth. But again, I'm not there yet. I don't give a fuck. I'm focusing on FedEx today, dude. Today's FedEx Chronicles number 1. I think this might be a 2-parter depending on how far we get here, but I'm not really sure. So this next point plays in to what I was talking about earlier. But messy action, or not earlier, like the earlier episodes, but messy action beats planning it out for 10 minutes, like when I'm on the road. Like if I'm sitting there trying to figure out where to go next, if my software isn't working, or I think I know a better way, sitting there for 10 minutes trying to figure out where to go. And if I say, okay, I'm going to go turn left on this road, and then I'm going to deliver these two, I'm going to get back on the main road, I'm going to go south. No, actually, I'm going to go north, and I think that would be slow because there's a roundabout. I don't know. If I do that for 10 minutes, I probably could have delivered 5 stops in those 10 minutes if I would have just kept going, if I didn't stop and try to analyze the situation. There's nothing to analyze, dude. The stops are right there. I know where they go. I just got to get there. And so the point here is messy action now beats planning it out for 10 minutes and then doing it later. Like I said, I could have had 5 stops delivered in that 10 minutes. And so, and also, if I'm sitting there planning it out in my head or on the map and I'm trying to figure out where to go before I even start driving, what if I plan all that out and the road's closed or something, or I go over there and they're doing construction and I can't go that way? Or what if I start going somewhere and the package that I need isn't accessible because I got to deliver the other 2? So it's like, it doesn't matter if I planned it out, so I got fucked. And that happened often, but it's all good. I also have a theory. I'm going to share that with you. I believe wholeheartedly that only people who live on corners of streets or road or whatever, corners. I mean, the house that's directly on the corner where you can see 2 sides of the house from the corner of the street, those guys, and then their neighbors, whoever or wherever that plots on the road, those are the only people who order big shit online. And the way that I know that this is true is because if I'm coming up to, for example, a 3-way stop, and just think about if I'm going up. Think about a letter T right now, but it's normally a 3-way stop. I'm going up. I'm going north, and I see that I only have 1 stop down the road. So I turn right on the letter T. There's only 1 stop on that whole road. And it will say it's a cul-de-sac. I don't want to drive in there to then deliver that 1 stop that I probably could reach if I just parked on the side of the long part of the T, of the main road going north. If I just park there and walk it, it's probably going to save me more time than pulling in there, going up to the door, and then going all the way down the road, flipping a U-turn if possible, and then coming back out. So every time that happens, I always park at on the long road of the T, because I don't want to go down that road, make a U-turn, come back. I'm probably saving 30 seconds, a minute, maybe. It depends on what it is, how many packages. But here's the thing. It's always a fucking snowblower, dude. It's always something huge and heavy and inconvenient that is not, it's not efficient to take that out of the truck and put it on a dolly, or even try to chug it over there, because it's probably like 300 feet and 400 feet, I don't know. And most of the time I'll jog that shit because you just get it done quicker. But if it's a basketball hoop or a trampoline, then it's like, oh, I parked here and now I also have to back up, go down there, and then And so that always happened. I would always try to be efficient and park on the long part of the T on the road here, and then run it, and then I wouldn't have to go down the road and flip a U-turn. And every time I did that, it would tell me, oh, this person ordered a 138-pound package, or they ordered a snowblower, they ordered a lawn, whatever. Every time. Every single time. Without fail. And so that's my theory. If you live on the corner of a street, or you're the neighbor of the corner house, you're the only people who order big shit. Ever. And if you live in the middle of the road, you order big shit too. But dude, everybody who lives on the corner of a road orders big shit. Or it's just I coincidentally am the driver when people order I don't know. Something going on, but I'm always getting fucked with the corner homes, and that's my theory. So anyway, going back to what I was saying, the road could be closed. You could do all that planning and still just get fucked. And so it's kind of comparable to life. And this goes back to episode 1 and 2 of Bcast, which I'm pretty sure I'm going to change the name soon. I came across some old notes of podcast ideas and names and stuff that I can't believe I'm actually doing now. It's really cool. But anyway, just start. You'll figure it out along the way. something I actually had a hard time believing in and trusting and going with, because the whole saying paralysis by analysis, meaning you're essentially paralyzed from overanalyzing. And my voice cracked. I know, it's awesome. Go ahead and shit out on social media, BRQUSC. Go ahead and tag me, voice crack. It's all good. Sub 100 Club, added that in there too. But episode 1 and 2, just start. You'll figure it out along the way. It was such a hard thing for me to grasp, because I would be thinking about everything that could go right, everything that could go wrong, how I might react if things go wrong, what I might do if things go good. So much so that it was preventing me from even starting. And then when I would start, it was like I had to follow this made-up script or whatever I was doing to the T, and if I didn't, it was like, oh, I did all that planning for nothing. And it really paralyzed me. That's why it's paralysis by analysis, It really paralyzed me, and I didn't do shit ever. And I had mentors at the time that said, hey, you just got to take messy action. You'll figure it out along the way. And I was like, bro, that's fucking shit advice. I'm trying to get this thing sorted out. You told me to go on a road trip and then get Google Maps started halfway through? Nah. And that's not the same thing. So I was just trying to, what do they call that shit? Straw man? Is that what it's called? I don't know what the name, who gives a fuck? And so it took me a while to understand that, but I think I'm picking up on that now, because I started the podcast 9 days ago. This podcast is 9 days old, dude. We're on episode 7. That's awesome. And I really didn't have a plan longer than 10 days, dude. And here we are in day 10 or whatever. What did I just say? 9 days? Fuck, dude. I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a long-term vision necessarily of where I wanted this thing to be and how I'd get there. It was more like, hey, I got to start talking about something, dude. So I just did this really hard thing called 75 Hard. I'm going to talk about it. And that's exactly what I did. And if I'm looking at the episodes here, which I can't because I'm recording, damn it. So what do I got? I got episode 1, just start. Episode 2, just start number 2. Episode 3, 4, 5 is 75 Hard and Live Hard. And then episode 6, which has not been uploaded yet, is How to Overcome Deep Sadness, I think is what I called it. And it's true, bro. It's how you overcome deep sadness is you plot. I don't want to ruin the plot, but go listen to it. Episode 6. All right, anyway. So yeah, messy action beats planning it out for 10 minutes. I could have delivered 5 stops in those 10 minutes. What if the road's closed? It's comparable to life. Just start. You'll figure it out along the way. And I actually have a couple more points that I want to touch on, but I'm not sure that I want this thing to be an hour long, because these ones are, I'm probably going to get into some deeper stories, and I would like to tell them all and not have to worry about going over time, because I need to go to bed 22 minutes ago. And I still need to write a couple pages. I still need to do 20 minutes of stretching, and I still need to drink water and eat a little bit more. What else do I got to do, bro? This is so rough. Here's the thing, dude. I'm doing all this extra shit here with phase 1, and I'm tired as hell. But I've never been so fulfilled and happy. And that is such a really cool thing to say out loud. I'm doing more than I ever have in life, working more hours than I ever have. I'm working 2 jobs. It's such a, I guess, pivotal time in my life. And I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling fulfilled. I'm not getting paid to do any of this. This is all because of my desire to be better and grow in life. And here I am. I get paid for it. Nobody's even listening to this right now. I have 0 listeners. There have been some impressions, though. So people are seeing it, which is cool. But until we get the first listener who leaves a comment or a rating or something, then I'm not sure if it's going to feel quite like I'm doing much of anything. I'm kind of just talking to myself and justifying it by recording it and posting it. So, man, that's what a podcast is, dude. That's crazy. You're talking to yourself, but justifying it is helping somebody by then posting it online. That's crazy to think about. I just oversimplify shit and make it sound a certain way, It's all good. But yeah, so tomorrow I'm actually I'm going to put this into a 2-parter for sure. Tomorrow I'm going to talk more about the most valuable lesson that I think I've ever learned with FedEx, and that is you're not alone out there. And I'm going to dive more about that in there tomorrow. And yeah, I think I'm gonna actually end it right there. These other points are some hard hitters for me, and I'd like to share them. And yeah, so anyway, guys, thanks so much for listening. I know this one was a little bit shorter. Was it shorter? I don't know. 30 minutes? Wow. Thought I was actually... Well, anyway, that was episode 7. If you're in the Sub 100 Club, let me know. Tag me on Instagram. Let me know you're listening. Shoot me a DM. Guys, if you're listening now, whenever you're listening, today is October 26th, 2023. I assume by the time people start actually listening to this shit, it'll be a year or two down the road. And if that's you and you're listening, message me on Instagram. I don't know if it'll be the same, but it's at BRQUSE. If you can pronounce it correctly, I'll send you something. But just message me and let me know you're in the Sub 100 Club. You're listening to the journey from day one, because that's a huge that's a pretty big reason why I'm doing this now. I want to be able to look back and see where I was at and prove to other people that they can do it themselves as well. You can be literally on day one with nothing to show for it after, I don't know. You can have all this ambition and have nothing to show for it and just start and finally, light the candle that sparks everything, or light the match that spark, whatever. Who gives a fuck about these words, bro? I'm just doing it so that, just as proof, like, hey, I want to do this. So I can be like, hey man, go back, listen to episode 1 through 100. I can get one listener the whole time. I hope that's not going to be true, but 7 episodes in, nobody's listened at all. So that's kind of the point, though. I just want to have 100 episodes. And I was thinking about that a little bit more. I'm going to share it a little bit. I think I want to have 100 episodes because when I post the 101st one, or it'll probably be the 100th one, that is maybe a giant, wow, I can't believe I fucking did it. I committed, maybe something like that. I'm not sure yet. And, I don't know, dude. Like I said, I'm just doing this for me right now. If anybody listens and finds value, that's even better. But I'm having a good time like this with doing all this. Kind of brings some joy into my life a little bit. And, yeah, it's awesome. I might actually start doing these in the morning just because it's a little bit more quiet. I got some more time to focus a little bit. I mean, I'll be tired as shit if you have to be 2 a.m., but I don't know, dude. Just trying to rearrange my day and get shit squeezed in where it can, because I am out of time, actually out of time by the end of the day with all the shit I got going on. And I'm not making excuses. It's just I got to rearrange my day now and figure out how to fit shit into where it fits. So, and it's awesome because I'm actually figuring it out and I'm making time. And it's awesome, dude. I'm doing more than I thought I could. And then feeling like my back's against the wall because I don't got time. But I do have plenty of time, bro. I just got to use it more wisely and maximize everywhere I put my efforts into, So anyway, that's episode number 7. See you guys later.